Hey there guys, it's Cole from Fishing Living Mission. It's been a while since I've done a post on the channel. I'm hoping to change that and hopefully post a lot more. I'm hoping to post a lot more with this boat. So this is a 3.9 meter tinny. It's an old Brooker Sea Owl. Nothing special at all, but it did have a 25 horsepower Mercury 2000 model on it. We've actually upgraded that because we've had some issues. It was a good motor for a couple of trips out, but it ended up just being a bit of a dud. So what we've done is we've actually upgraded to a Yamaha F25. So this is a 4-stroke manual start, tiller steer. It would have been nice to go for the electric start, just that little bit of ease, just turn a key and away you go. I have found that the full start's a little bit different to the Mercury, but beautiful motor. Once you give it a pull, it'll start straight away. It's very reliable, very quiet. It's meant to be really low on emissions too, which is great, but also I'm hoping it's going to be really low on fuel, because in comparison to the two-stroke definitely chugged a little bit more than what a 4-stroke would do, especially a brand new one. So hopefully use a little bit less fuel when we go out on our trips. One thing that I absolutely do love on this Yamaha is the forwards and reverse lever. So pull this to the front, that's going to put it into forwards. Push it to the back, that's going to put it in reverse. I'd much rather that than trying to find where neutral is on a tiller handle, and it's not hard obviously, but it's just a far more easier motor to use in comparison to that Mercury. One of the massive upgrades in comparison to the old 25 horsepower 2-stroke Mercury that we had in here, this Yamaha is so quiet, you barely hear it while it's on. There's one thing that I'm not a massive fan about this motor, which I do miss from the 2-stroke Mercury. So on the actual tiller itself, on the end of the Mercury, we used to have a button that would be a kill switch. So you'd also have your lanyard, but you'd have a kill switch right here, so when you get to your fishing spot, you can cruise up, press that button, and it'd kill the motor. This, not having that, it's not too hard just to reach over to the pull cord and pull your kill switch, but it's just one of those features that I really liked off the Mercury, and it's a shame that the Yamaha doesn't have that right at hand. One thing I'm not entirely sure if I like or dislike yet is the lever to tilt the motor. So it's in a spot that I wish it was either just a little bit longer so you can reach properly, or maybe in a slightly better spot, but I'll show you where it is. So it's just this lever here. What you can do is you can pull it up, and then when you go to pull the motor up, a little bit easier from inside the boat, then you can lift it up. So if you're going over some shallows, you can do it like that, or if you're going for a drive and you don't want it to be too low to the ground, you can lift it up that way too. Definitely looking at getting a leg to hold the motor while it's driving, that way it's not too much weight on the actual transom while we're driving. So it took us a little bit to figure it out, mainly because we didn't read the manual first, and probably would have been a good idea, is you just push it back down, and then when you go to lift it back up, it kicks out this little stand here, and then it sits back down. Nice and easy. The only thing I do wish is that was either a little bit longer, or just in a slightly better spot where it doesn't have the kill cord and the wiring in the way. What we've always done is try to look after the motors as best we can. So we use the earmuffs, and I've just got the Schmick salt wash adapter. It works really well. You just hook it on to the hose, fill it up with some wash. I use the Schmick stuff, but you can use there's a few different brands you can use, Salt Away or Salty Captain are a couple of good ones. Just turn the dial so that it feeds through the wash, and then you can, if you're all finished with the wash, you can just put it on to rinse. So what we also do is we put the hose adapter on it as well as the muffs, so that way you can actually use the hose, spray on all your salt wash, give it a decent clean off. It's going to make the boat, the trailer, the motor last so much longer. So just look after your motor and it'll definitely look after you in the long run. You'll have some absolute awesome fishing trips. This motor also comes with this little port here, so you can undo this, you can get an adapter, put the hose straight on that, flushes out the motor. Honestly, I would rather just put the earmuffs on because it's going to give it a proper clean. With this one, you definitely don't want to turn on the motor. You just want to let the water flush through. Pretty cool feature on this motor. Haven't been able to use it yet, but if you're just trying to troll and you find you're going a little bit too fast, you can adjust your RPMs here. So if you want to go that little bit slower without having to lose the sensitivity in the throttle, you can just adjust your RPMs here. For the install of this motor, we actually did it ourselves. So we unbolted the old one, which had holes about here for the mercury, and we've just put a bolt in there and just covered it in silicone. Would have been nice to put something in between the panel but I wasn't going to take off this panel just to put a little bit of silicone in. I've absolutely filled it with silicone on the other side. If we can find it, there we go. I've done that both sides, so no water's going to come in there. That's going to keep it nice and watertight. Then you put your screw clamp on, find your halfway point, and drill out your bolt holes and put your bolts in. I've just used the same bolts. From the last motor. They're stainless steel, so they'll last a long time. But nice and easy to install this motor. Really wish I had a camera with me on our second trip out on this boat. It was an absolutely awesome trip out. We got smashed by grunters, brim, whiting. Dad hooked into a couple of tailor. That was just in the Logan River, a little bit closer to the mouth than we normally used to go. What was actually awesome about that trip is I actually caught my PB whiting. I absolutely love whiting fishing. It's one of my favorites. They have such a good fight for such a small fish too. It's also really good eating fish. So I ended up catching a 43 centimeter whiting, which I put up on the screen here, and I'm kind of kicking myself I didn't have a camera that day. At least I've got a photo of it. Would have been awesome to take some video of me catching it, because it was actually on the 1 to 2 kilo Daiwa Ed 7-foot rod, and I had a 2,500 size reel with 6-pound line. So it was a nice ultralight setup, and was a really good fight on that rod. That 1 to 2 kilo rod is been absolutely amazing the last couple of years. Love to do a review on it, but it is a discontinued Daiwa Ed rod, so it's an old 2021 model, I think it is. And I've got a few newer rods that I can do a review on. If you'd like to see that, give me a yell. And I've got a couple of reels that we're using at the moment. We're using Penn Battle 3, which is a bit of an older one. We've got a Shimano Naski 2500 and a 5000. They're absolute amazing reels for the price. Definitely check out those. I'll do a video on those because I've been able to try them out a fair amount lately, and they've been definitely worth their weight in gold. We're also running a couple of Daiwa Luxel reels and stuff like that as well, so check those out. I'll do some videos on those as well, because they've been an absolute awesome reel for the price. I think you can buy a combo for $99 from Anaconda. I've just got the reel itself. Well, thanks for watching this video, guys. Very much appreciate it. Can't wait to see what this motor is going to be like when we open it up a little bit more in the Bay area and see what we can catch. It's going to be absolutely awesome. Well, we'll catch you next time, and don't forget to like and subscribe.